Brothers Jimmy Horn Jr., Shedeur Sanders reunite. When the Colorado Buffaloes needed a spark against North Dakota State in the 2024 season opener, Shedeur Sanders stood in the pocket under a heavy rush and delivered. Sanders hit receiver Jimmy Horn Jr. on a well-executed slant route for a 69-yard touchdown highlighted by the future Carolina Panthers draft pick outrunning Bison's defensive backs. Before that play late in the first quarter, the Buffaloes failed to match the intensity of the underdog Bison, who stampeded to an early 117-65 passing yards advantage. Considered a top NFL prospect in 2024, Sanders and Horn helped rally the Buffaloes to a win, with Sanders compiling 445 passing yards and 4 touchdowns, while Horn posted 198 yards receiving. After transferring to Colorado together in 2023, Horn, South Florida, and Sanders, Jackson State, started developing a brother-like relationship. Colorado coach Deion Sanders grew into a significant figure to Horn, whose birth father is incarcerated. After going to Carolina in the 6th-round April's draft, Horn joked about being the elder Sanders' favorite son. "It feels good," Horn said. "Having that bragging right. I love Coach Prime to death. Gonna be good to see him again." Horn and the younger Sanders reunited briefly during Wednesday's training camp joint practice at the Panthers' practice fields behind Bank of America Stadium. They embraced, and Sanders could be heard saying at the end of their exchange, "It's business." Horn replied, "You know it is." The brothers will see each other again Friday night, but on different sidelines when the Panthers face the visiting Browns at Bank of America Stadium. "It's going to be exciting to see Sanders again," Horn said last week. "Can't wait to see how he's doing out there, like see him in person and stuff. I talk to him here and there, but it's just going to be good to see him again." With Horn's father incarcerated in Colorado on drug-related charges since 2021, the elder Sanders did more than Coach Horn Jr. He tackled the role of a father figure. Coach Prime walked beside Horn to celebrate Senior Day in November. After watching Horn collect 2 touchdowns and make a touchdown-saving tackle on a fake punt attempt, Deion Sanders appeared on What Needs to Be Said podcast and declared, "Jimmy don't play. Jimmy has got his pops on his mind. So Jimmy has got a purpose." Since arriving in Carolina, Horn continues to utilize his speed and precise route-running ability to stand out in training camp. On the Panthers' initial preseason depth chart, Horn was listed with the 3rd unit and returning kicks on special teams. Horn is generating preseason buzz, but he's tuning out outside voices, at least until after Cutdown Day on August 26th. "I appreciate all the hype and stuff, but I feel still like I haven't done anything yet," he said. "I haven't played in no real NFL game yet. I still haven't accomplished any goals or anything. I try not to feed into it. I just want to continue to prove myself every day and become a consistent player." Shedeur Sanders tries to stand out. With 5 quarterbacks in Charlotte, Browns coach Kevin Stefanski, a longtime friend of Panthers coach Dave Canales, named Sanders Friday's starter. Tagged as a first-round talent, Sanders dropped to the 5th in April as NFL executives and scouts questioned his attitude and whether he could take coaching from anyone but his father. Horn continues to support his brother. "I know everything happens for a reason in life," Horn said. "I feel like God's got a plan for everything, so I just leave it up to God. That's how I look at that situation." Deion Sanders sounded pumped on the podcast over his son starting opposite Carolina's Bryce Young on Friday night. The Panthers' 3rd-year starter is projected to play at least one series, about 8 to 12 plays, Canales said, detailing the coaching staff's plan for the first team. "You're going to have to let him play in the preseason," Sanders said. "And I know my son, he's going to get that ball down the field." Horn's situation with Carolina appears to be different, but no less cramped. In the new-look receivers room, the Panthers have 12 in camp. 6, maybe 7, will make the team. Horn appears to be on track to make the 53-man roster. If the 5'8", 174-pounder becomes exposed to the NFL waiver wire, he likely will find a new home in short order. Word spreads fast in NFL circles. "I just love the way that he plays football," Canales said. "It's full speed all the time. He's one of those guys. Everything he does is fast. He's just all gas." The locker room was still, quiet like the final pause before a storm. Helmets gleamed under the soft overhead lights, and cleats echoed faintly against the concrete floor. But in that silence, a ripple of energy entered with 2 simple words. "He's here." Shedeur Sanders looked up from his locker and smiled. It had been a long time, too long, but today wasn't just another day in the Cleveland Browns preseason camp. Today, Jimmy Horn Jr. was visiting, and it wasn't just a reunion. It was a revival of brotherhood forged through sweat, struggle, and shared belief. Before the NFL dreams, Shedeur and Jimmy weren't brothers by blood, but you couldn't tell them that. From the moment they linked up at Jackson State and later at Colorado under Coach Prime's bold vision, they were locked in. Quarterback and receiver. Leader and firestarter. Brothers. Their bond was built through late-night film sessions, sideline jokes, tough losses, and highlight reel connections. When Shedeur rolled out and needed someone to trust downfield, it was Jimmy. When Jimmy was doubted for his size or underestimated for his route running, Shedeur was the first one to remind the world. That's my guy. Bet on him. The NFL split. The 2025 NFL Draft split them for the first time in years. Shedeur landed in Cleveland, with cameras, critics, and pressure stacked high. Jimmy went undrafted but clawed his way into a spot with the Kansas City Chiefs, a team rich in talent and even richer in expectations. They had spent the past few months grinding on different fields, in different states, with different challenges. But their bond? Untouched. They FaceTimed weekly, sent memes daily, and each silently circled this preseason day, when the Browns and Chiefs would hold joint practices in Ohio. The reunited moment. When Jimmy stepped into the Browns facility that morning, he wasn't wearing the enemy's red and gold, just a hoodie, headphones, and that familiar smirk. Shedeur spotted him across the hallway, froze for a second, then broke into the widest grin seen in camp all summer. "Lil' bro," Shedeur shouted, running over. They hugged with the kind of tightness that says, "I got you." Still, the cameras tried to zoom in. Coaches nodded in respect. Teammates stepped aside. Because everyone could feel it. This wasn't just a reunion. It was sacred.